Hi everybody, welcome to Dandelion Cottage and Watercolor Wednesday. I'm Leslie Watkins, and today I am going to use a stamp set and paper that can be found in the Celebration brochure that is packed with all sorts of free items. So I'm going to be using this one, the Friendly Hello stamp set that has this cute little bird and flowers and foliage, and then also when you spend $100 or more on supplies, you can get this for free with this beautiful designer series paper as well. So I'm going to be using some of that paper. I'm going to be using this stamp set, but I'm going to keep it kind of simple. I'm going to be using stamps, ink, and paper, but I'm going to be using inks in a different way. I'm going to be using them as you would watercolor, and instead of using the basic white cardstock, I'm going to be using the shimmery white paper. So let me show you what I've got. I have a basic white medium envelope. I've got my card base cut to 5.5 by 4.25, and I'm just going to go ahead and give that a nice burnishing so that it lays flat. I have a piece of that DSP that I've already cut out as a mat, so that's going to be mounted on the card something like this. And then I have a little piece of the shimmery white paper, and this piece measures 3 by 4.25. And then I have an assortment of scraps here for sentiments and for a little embellishment. So for painting today, I'm going to be using my water painters. So I'm just going to grab that medium one. I have my stamp set here, and I'm going to be using the little bird stamp, and I have these buds handy. I have some of these little spatters that might be useful, and I'm going to be using this sentiment that says, "Hope you have the best birthday," because in my life, February is a very busy birthday month. My birthday is coming right up on February 11th. My upline's birthday is on February 6th. Then I've got a couple of different downlines who also have birthdays in February, so I'm going to get busy and make some birthday cards. And I may make a few extra ones for surprise birthdays that pop up. Now here I've got my water-based ink palette set up, and I'm just going to grab some of my water-based ink. So I'm going to put a couple of drops of yellow in here. Some red. You don't need much. 3 or 4 drops is probably enough for a dozen cards. And some blue. All right, we're ready to go with that. Just going to clear the area a little bit here, make sure that I am broadcasting. And I am. That looks good. Good morning, everybody. Hi, Carol, Ginger, Shelley, Sandra. Going to do a little bit of an ink painting today. I hope you enjoy this. So I've already got my little bird mounted up, and I've got some ink here. This is the Sahara Sand. And And I'm not sure how inky my pad is. Maybe I better test it. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, so sometimes, you know, because I heat my house during the winter with the wood burning stove, it can cause things to dry out. So I'm always a little concerned if I haven't used an ink for a while that it might be getting dry. But this is fine. So I'm just going to get this image lined up on my paper. And actually, I think I'm going to put it a little to the upper right because I want to leave room for the sentiment. Here we go. I'll give you a close-up of that. There's our little bird, and I'm going to call this bird a bee eater. So there is a rather large group of birds in the tropics and also in the more temperate areas that are known as bee eaters, and they have a long beak. And because he's got that longish little beak, that's what I'm going to call him. And I'm going to, I think I'll paint these flowers as if they were hibiscus or something similar to that. Maybe not exactly, because I don't think that the stamp maker who designed this little bird was being entirely realistic. So we're going to go with what we've got here. So the bee eater that I'm going to paint has a pretty little yellowish orange throat, something like that. And its head is kind of reddish. Okay, and then its little body is kind of a greenish. So I'm just going to mix my yellow and my blue together to get a green. And I'm just going to let these colors sort of blend gently together. And then the flowers I'm going to paint as yellow. Now, if you're new to card making and you're thinking that this might be something fun that you'd like to do to get ready for birthdays or Valentine's or any special occasion or no occasion at all, just beautiful note cards, then you might want to consider getting a few supplies like some stamps, some paper, and some inks. And if you were to spend $50 or more, you would be able to get some things for free from the Celebration catalog. And if you were to spend $100, then you could get both this little bird stamp as well as the beautiful designer series paper for free. So, so you could really make your dollars work for you. So that might be something that you're interested in. And after the video is done today, I will be posting the links so that you can just click on those and see how you could do it and go right to the shopping area. All right, so I'm just going back into my little bird now, making him a little bit darker. And the bee eater that I'm looking at actually has a longer tail, so I'm just going to go ahead and give him some extra long feathers to make him look a little more like an actual bee eater. And then they have a kind of a dark stripe that goes right under their eye and kind of connects to their beak. Something like that, maybe a little bit longer. There. And make his eye a little darker. And I want to give that branch a little color. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and get some dark areas in the center of these flowers. So you, excuse me, so you see that with just a little bit of ink and water, you can use these re-inkers just as you would watercolor paints. So that could be a lot of fun. And the little re-inker bottles are very inexpensive. So this is a very fun way that you can add a little bit of color to your cards. All right, and then all I need to do now is I'm just going to go in with a darker mixture of the green. So I'm adding my yellow and blue together, but this time I'm not adding quite as much water, so it's darker. And I'm just going to pick out some of these feathers. See that? So if you want to take your stamped image and just use it as a base and then add a few little touches to make it work for whatever the subject is, as I did here. So what I did was I added that that little distinctive line across the bird's cheek, and I also added the longer tail. And so now he looks a little bit more like the kind of bee eater that I had in mind. I'm just going to add a light feather here. There we go. And I can also take some green and just sort of run that over the veins in the leaves like so. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside to dry. And I'm going to, well, let me give you a close-up of that so you can see what I've done. There we go. All right, so there's my little image, and now I'm just going to begin assembling my card pieces. So I'm going to put this away carefully so we don't have any incidents. And I have my card base here and my designer series paper. And I'm just going to look at this. It's still got a lot of wet in the leaves. So you know what? I'm just going to use my heat tool to help hasten the drying here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute so you don't have to listen to that. Now, if you're someone who's been stamping for a while, you may have a heat tool that looks like this, and this is just a device that blows very hot air, hotter than a hairdryer. And what we use this for is gold embossing, or actually any color, not just gold. I use it mostly for gold, but there's also silver, black, clear, all different colors of embossing powders. And what this does, it melts them into a shiny metallic finish. And I'm mentioning that because you could stamp the image of the little bird with the flowers and then heat emboss it and then paint on top of it as well. But I'm just going to keep this very simple today because if you're new to stamping or if you're thinking that it looks interesting, I want you to see how easily you can do something without a lot of additional materials. So I'm just using my multi-purpose liquid glue, and I'm just going to put a thin bead of glue around the edge and a little bit in the middle. And get my designer series paper. That this is one of the pieces of the paper that comes with the bird stamp for free with $100 purchase. So if you were to get some cardstock, some envelopes, a few inks, and the water painters, which are the brushes that you saw me painting with, you'd be able to add a few other items and you would be eligible to get the friendly hello and the DSP paper for free. So that looks pretty good. I'm going to take my bone folder, give that a good burnish. All right, and then using my glue again, same thing. Okay, now I have these scraps, and I thought what I would do would be to add a little birthday sentiment. So I'm going to use this one. I've already got it mounted up, and I'm just going to grab some ink. So I have some Mossy Meadow dark green ink here, which I think will be nice for this. And let's see, this is a little big, but I may have to cut it down. So let's just see how well it fits on here. Okay, it looks like this pad is ready to be re-inked. So I'm just going to make sure I go all around and get a good covering. Okay, so I do need a little more ink in this ink pad, but it's good enough. But you can see it got a little bit light in the A, but that's all right. I'm going to go with that. Now I'm just going to use my trimmer and trim this down to size. So I think something like that. A little off the bottom. Okay, and I'm just going to put that down there, but before I do, okay, I think I'm going to use I'm going to use a dimensional, and I'm just going to pop this up a little bit. So a dimensional looks like this. It's a little tiny piece of foam. In this case, it's a kind of a hexagon shape. And I'm just going to put a couple of those on the back, like so. And there it is. So that's my card. Now, if you're somebody who has some punches handy, I just want to show you what you can do. I have a little piece of the DSP left over, and I thought what I would do is use this new bow punch, and using the DSP, just cut a couple of these leafy shapes out, just like that. And just sort of add them under my sentiment. Okay, and that is my card for today. I could stamp the back of my envelope, so let's just going to get this cute little, it is a little flower design. Oh, and I forgot my spatter. Whoops. Let me put some spatter on there real quick. All right, so I'm going to go back to my green ink. And I just want to put a little spatter as a background. Okay, so just as easy as that. Just adds a little bit of kind of atmosphere to the picture, and then I can do the same thing on the envelope. With the little floral design. And just put that like so. There we go. And that's it. It's just as easy as that. So there is a charming little hand-painted card that you could send to somebody for their birthday with a matching envelope. And the best part is that the card was made with these beautiful free stamps and designer series paper that you can get with a $100 order. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to be posting all of the links below in just a little while. So if you want to just check back, you can click on those and they will bring you to my online store where you could purchase these, or you could have access to these free items. And if you want to visit my website at dandelioncottagedesign.com, there's much more information there. And you'll also find a link to notes from Dandelion Cottage, which is my email list where I can send you notifications of my upcoming classes. And I've got a couple of really great classes this month that you won't want to miss. So please sign up for notes, like and subscribe, follow, share, all those good things. And I will see you next on Saturday for Paper Crafting Saturday. I hope you have a wonderful week. Stay well, stay happy, stay creative, and I'll see you next time.